aspiring designers or writers out there, you don't get anywhere by never putting any points on the board. You got to write, you got to put your butt in the seat, and you got to put words on the page, and
Well,
then put it in front of other people.
I even told Gary, and I will say this loud and proud. I told Gary, the best thing you've ever done should be the next thing you do. Period.
The thing you're aiming at.
If you think, I've learned it all and I have no more castles to conquer, you're wrong. You can always do a little bit better next time than you did last time.
I hear you. Speaking of Gary, so let's talk just about Gary right now. All right. So when did you first meet Gary Gygax?
Ah, I was 15. 50, yeah, because I couldn't drive yet. When you go back that many years, okay, no, I'm sorry, gang, for me, that's like 50 years ago. So, but when I was 15, we went to something in Lake Geneva called Mini Gen Con 2. And it was $6 to get a badge to get in. It was
Man,
a
that's like $1,000 back then, isn't it?
well, yeah, it was a reasonable amount of money. I got into a game because I love playing miniature games. At that point, we hadn't really gotten into D&D yet at all.
Okay.
But I love playing miniature games. I was given a wizard with some heavy infantry bodyguards, and I was told by the game master, who I didn't really know yet, this was my group to run. That I had a wand of frost with 3 charges in it, and the trolls were about to invade our camp. So sure enough, the trolls come barreling in, and they kill off the archers. And I'm retreating up to the top of a hill because I know, high ground. If you play miniatures, you got to get the high ground. I'm retreating up this hill, and one by one, my bodyguards are getting dropped by trolls. And we're about an hour and a half into the game, and the game master leans over to me. He says, "Chris," and I looked at his badge because I was like, "Oh, Gary, hey, this is your game." He said, "Yes, it is." He said, do you mind if I give you a little advice?" And I said, "No, of course. My goodness, it's your game." He said, "Well, don't let that bother you." He said, "But you have 3 charges on your frost wand." Yes, I do. I'm saving for just the right moment. He said, do you know what they call a wizard who dies with all of his spells intact? I said, "No." He said, that person's a moron. Okay. The next troll that charges you, I want you to stick your wand in its belly button and pull the trigger. I said, "Yes, sir."
That's
And that's
quality
how
advice.
that's how I got to know Gary after, and we did win, by the way, because the frost wand had enough charge. After the event, he invited me to go sit and have lunch with him. And of course, all my friends were like, "Can we come to?" Yeah, of course. And we all sat and had lunch with Gary. And he said, I hope I wasn't too hard on you." And I was like, "No, it was good advice. We won." I said, "That's what's important, right?" He said, "Well, this new fantasy miniature supplement that we're doing, I think you're going to really like. We've expanded it into a role playing game, and I want to encourage you to try our new role playing game too." And we sat and talked for 20 minutes while everyone else actually ate something. And Gary was maybe 45, 50 back then. He still had most of his hair, for God's sake. Anyway, didn't have that bald spot. But it was funny. And so I stayed in touch with him. Every other con I went to, I would stop and see Gary and say hi. And we got to be friends after a while because both of us shared a smoking habit too. So we'd be in that spot outside the con where all the smokers go together. And we would talk that way.